which was called Under Wraps, and that wasn't accepted by the fans so much. Why?
Don't know. I don't think about it. I just make the records I want to make and hope that people like them. So they seem to like this one, but I'm sure they'll hate the next one. You know, like that, isn't it?
Yeah. But there, on that album, you made something new with electronical and computer sounds, and maybe that the fans of Jethro Tull didn't accept this new sound, or maybe that's the reason. Or?
Well, it may be the reason. I mean, I think it was something we had to see what we could do with those kinds of instruments. I mean, we still use those instruments on the new album. It's just that instead of having somebody else to play them, I made sure that I played them, because then I can dominate the instruments and keep them under control, you see, instead of letting the keyboards dominate the group. I keep it simple so the guitar can do the, you know, guitar and flute can be in the front. So that's why I played the keyboards. Keyboard players are dangerous people, you know, they have all these wonderful toys and they can't resist. It's even worse than drummers. Drummers used to be the bad guys, now it's keyboard players.
And who's the new keyboard player here on stage?
He's called Don Airy, and he's a classically trained musician who's played with a lot of heavy metal bands, you know, the Ozzy Osbournes and people like that.
And he's able to control himself?
Well, we're able to control him, yes. Yes. No, he's a sympathetic player.
Oh, yeah. So what about Ian Anderson? What are other things you do? And I read something, you're not only into music at the moment, you're also into something else for quite a long time now.
You know perfectly well what I'm doing the rest of the time. For 9 years I've been farming salmon. It's not a new thing. I've been farming salmon for half as long as I've been a musician now. So it's also for me a serious job. Very serious up in Scotland, where there is high unemployment and no careers for people, especially young people. So I'm a small part of a big new industry there, which is very exciting.
And how big is this, your part in this industry?
Big in what terms? In tonnage production terms, or how many people?
Yeah, how many young people are working in your company?
Well, I employ about 50 people. The industry employs currently about 1,000 people.
But talking about the fans and that they want to hear the old sound of Jethro Tull, that it's kind of hard for you to do something really new. Is that are you a little bit a victim of your old sound, or how do you feel about this?
No, I think we're an awful lot luckier than most groups who've been around as long as we have, who very often are victims of a very defined style. Take the Rolling Stones, for example. But Jethro Tull has been fortunate in having a number of styles. I mean, we are a very eclectic group. I mean, we play bits of folk music and classical music and jazz and blues and whatever. So we have a lot of things we can bring into our overall musical feel on a given record or on a concert. You know, there's lots of elements there. So for us, I think it's not such a problem, but it must be a big problem for a lot of other people. So, no, I don't think it's a problem for us. But I wouldn't like to be Mick Jagger, you know, or even Tina Turner, you know. I mean, that's really getting trapped into a certain kind of a thing, you know, I think. You know, or even Michael Jackson, you know. Oh, God, can you imagine being Michael Jackson? And I wonder if it hurts. You know, I don't know.
You would never do a cosmetic surgery for being very famous, no?
Well, I actually had it done 20 years ago, and this is the result. Yeah. They were just experimenting back then, you know, with the method.
I saw a very old tape from 1969 in the Royal Albert Hall. It was a song called Nothing Is Easy, which was on the second album of Stand Up, I think. And what for you personally has changed between these, I think it's now 18 years ago, yeah, in this whole music business? I mean, you as one who is on stage.
What most has changed for me, my hair is sliding slowly off the back of my head is the main problem. Music business now is like it was 25 years ago. Music business today is music business. It is show business. And people coming into groups today want to be stars. They want to be very, very fashionable. It's all about style. It's all about haircuts. And music is haircuts today. It doesn't have a lot to do with music, I think. And the pressure on young musicians to be successful quickly, I think, is very bad for their development as musicians. you know, it makes me very sad when I think what happened to all those great old groups of yesteryear, all those wonderful old bands, you know, that used to be around, you know.
For example?
Well, Nick Kershaw, Howard Jones, Duran Duran. I mean, they were the great white hopes. They were, you know, but I mean, 2 years and, you know, they're gone. That's burnout factor.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to kids today. Aha will be dead in 12 months. You know, the House Martins are, you know, seriously ought to go and top themselves because it's all over, you know. I mean, it's very sad. Some of them are very good musicians, but they get pushed so fast. It's in the interest of the record business, it's the interest of the music business to have a very quick turnaround. If I was in the business, that's what I would do if I wanted to make money. Create big margins, turn them around fast, you know.